Boom! Today we're doing a little something different. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are and wherever you may be. My name is Samuel Davis III, and I am the host of Uplift Our Community podcast, powered by Bridge Visions. So today we are going to do a little something different. We had a few weeks off, and I was originally thinking about coming back with a heavier subject, something more serious, something more personal, something with a little more weight to it. But today I'm not feeling that. And sometimes that's wisdom too. Every conversation does not have to be heavy. Every episode does not have to solve the world. Every time we sit down together, we don't have to unpack trauma, family issues, politics, culture, or the state of humanity. Sometimes we just need to breathe. Sometimes we need to laugh. Sometimes we need to remember that the people having these conversations are not just opinions, titles, roles, or responsibilities. We're human beings. We have stories, we have favorite foods, we have music that changes our moods, we have funny habits, we have things people assume about us that are completely wrong. We have lessons, memories, quirks, and little pieces of ourselves that people may not always get to see. So today's episode is called, Who Are We When We're Not Being Serious? Today is a reset episode, a reintroduction, a chance for us to get back in rhythm, enjoy each other, and let the audience know a little more about the people behind the microphones. We're still Uplift Our Community. We still care about growth, accountability, healing, truth, and purpose. But uplift is not always heavy. Sometimes uplift is laughter. Sometimes uplift is storytelling. Sometimes uplift is giving people permission to relax and be seen in a different light. So today, we're going to ask some questions, some light, some funny, some personal, and maybe a few that might sneak up on us. No pressure today, just conversation. Welcome to Uplift Our Community. Let's get into it. First up, I'm going to bring up my man, G Money, Gordon. Let me see if I got him in here. I think I got him in here. Is he here? Trying to add him to the stage. He's not popping up. So I'm going to bring in Jay. There you go, Jay.
Hey, how's it going, sir?
It's going good. There we go. Okay, there he is. We got going. How's the week been going for you, Jay? What you been up to?
You know what? It's been a week for change and growth, and I've been embracing it. You get into a situation where you got to make the tough decisions in order to move on to better and more wonderful things and opportunities. So that's what I've been doing, having the conversations that you avoided, so you can get to the goals that you need. There you go. I feel very optimistic about that, sir. All right.
Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. So what are you getting into? What was these decisions that you're making?
Oh, well, just trying to, my charity, we are looking at new ways and innovative ways on how we can help serve our community. So, we have our growing pains, looking at, trying to make sure that the people that we work so hard to serve, that they're not overlooked, making sure, trying to find ways in which we can grow. I think we're, it's a victim of success in a way. So we find it that so many people that, they need a little help here and there, but they're so excited about the building of the community as well. So we're trying to find ways to help embrace the community growth,
Tell us what's your organization? What's the website?
Oh, sorry. It's called All Hands on Deck, but we're growing. So outside of that, we're looking at calling another branch of that called the Share, where we put more emphasis on the food aspects of what we do. And All Hands on Deck is going to be looks like more of the PR side of things and helping to keep and grow the communities.
And what city are you in? City and state?
We are in St. Louis, Missouri.
St.
So,
Louis.
St.
All
Louis.
right.
I'm the
All
Lou
right.
from the Lou, and I'm proud. There you go.
I hear that. Okay. We want one of Nelly's finest back over there, right? All
Yes.
right. I'm bringing in my man G Money Gordon. Gordon Chavez. What's up, Gordon? How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Not sure
What's
what
been going on
happened
with you
earlier.
this week, Gordon?
Oh, just busy, man. Family. I think this week has been mostly about family. There's been some changes with our work schedules and things like that, and so the family, we've been just trying to come together a little bit better to kind of share the responsibilities of how this household runs and all of that. My wife is such a hard worker that sometimes it's hard for her to give up some of that stuff, but at the same time, we have to, man. We got 4 boys, and we got to get these boys working and sharing. Well, 3 now. The oldest is on his own doing his own thing, but they got to get in and share some of the responsibilities, some of the workload and all of that, so that it's not all on one person or 2 people or 3, whatever. It's not heavy on just a few. So we've been kind of reworking some stuff and introducing new rules and new structure and things like that. So
Okay. Well, that's what's up. Well, cool. I want to get in some of these questions here that I want to ask. I want to start off. I'm just going to go random with some of these questions that I had that I just think we just want to get to know each other, get to talk. So I'm going to ask you. I'm starting with this one, Jay. Starting with you. What was your first job or your first hustle? And would you call it a hustle if it was?
I would say I used to cut lawns in my neighborhood. So go around some of the elder people in the neighborhood, or people without kids or have you. I would cut their lawns, and it was a great source of money for 12-year-old or what have you, 13-year-old running around. And this was, we didn't have to worry about OSHA at the time. You just got out there and made your money. So that was really good.
I hear that. Out there, I'm assuming now St. Louis, it had to be cutting grass and shoveling snow. Was that a big thing for you?
Yeah, well, yeah, shoveling snow. Yeah, I mean, I do have the envy of the West Coast, that you don't have to worry about the snow issue. Nothing ticks you off more when your business partners call you from their office where you can see the boats just fly by. So I've been hurt. So I'm working on it. So the deal is that with wintertime, we just called it pennies from heaven, man. When it snowed, it was just money to be made. So you got a good crew, maybe your brother or your friends or have you go around. You can make an easy $100 a day, doing that in the right conditions, and everybody feel like millionaires for a week or two. So we're good.
Did you guys plan that as a team, or did you do it individually and then you picked up other people? How did that work for you?
Well, I believe for the most part it was solo, really, because you had to get out there really quick. But we learned that the buddy system was really good, especially on some of the cul-de-sacs, because one person can work on the side of the street or what have you, and many hands make light work. So that was a better part of that, having a partner. So.
Oh, okay, all right. What about you, Gordon?
my first job was in a print shop helping my stepmom, and I was like 13 or 14 or something like that, and I was the guy that took out the trash, cleaned the windows, refilled printer ink, refilled paper, the little I don't know what you call it, and just working in a print shop on the weekends. And I was able to save up some money and buy a pair of shell toe Adidas. My first I bought on my own. Yeah.
Were you a breakdancer?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay.
What size were those shell toes of yours?
Oh, back then, I don't know, 9 or 10, maybe. I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember my first pair of Converse. There were a size. What was it? I think I was wearing 10s or 11s in the ninth grade. 10s or 11. Yeah, I remember that feeling of having them new shoes. Man, what a feeling it was.
I
Oh
remember
man.
the Converse fast breaks. I love those shoes. I mean, I might have to try to see if I can find a pair just for nostalgia's sake. You know?
Speaking of nostalgia sake, do you guys remember? I'm sure y'all remember Kmart. Man, listen, I used to have those. You remember those Kmart tracks? I think Adidas had 3 stripes and tracks had 4, maybe, or Kmart tracks. I think they had 4 stripes, and they were like kind of like vinyl with the little 4 stripes.
Yeah.
You remember that?
We used to go to Payless, and they had these shoes called Pro Wings. I think it was.
Oh, right.
They looked like Jordans. I think some of the designs.
If you wanted it to be profiled, if you wanted to be tortured, come to school with Pro Wings.
Pro Wings.
I remember a friend, a guy in my class. I was probably in the 6th grade, 5th grade. And we were both at Payless at the same time. And that was my first nonverbal communication where it's like, you didn't see anything, I didn't see anything. So let's just go. So we went about our business.
Well, I'm going to tell you what my first job was. I was 13 years old, and we were living on Marine Corps Air Station, Iwakuni, Japan. And I was working on a flight line. We worked with the Seabees. The Seabees is a detachment of, I think they're part of the Navy. Their whole job is construction and building up things on base. They build buildings and man, they gave us hammers and saws, and man, we just broke down buildings, and I mean, just let us destroy stuff. Got paid for that. Was my first summer in Japan, 1980. Was it 80? It had been 80, something like maybe, 79, 80. And I had my first paycheck. I got myself my first box, Michael Jackson off the wall cassette tape. And I had this big radio with the guitar string hooked up to it. Man, you couldn't tell me nothing after I got paid. Couldn't tell me nothing. That was a great time for me back then, man. We used to wrestle with some of the Marines too, because it was like they were like big brothers to us. So we'd be throwing stuff and throwing I remember breaking down walls and throwing what do you call that stuff the walls are made out of?
Drywall.
Drywall. Yeah, throwing drywall. Just being kids, man. It was amazing to do that with those Marines and those Navy Seabees. You know, some of them were, only like 5 or 6 years older than us, So it was really something being young during that time in Japan. So that's cool. Here we go. Next question, guys. Let me pull this one off here. Next question. What? There we go. G Money. I'm gonna ask you this one. What comfort food fixes your attitude?
Oh man. What comfort food? You said it before we jumped on. Man. A good taco, and we got some good places out here. Man, we got some good places. But you know what? My wife actually beats a lot of the places out here, so we can eat good, staying at home, and just whatever my wife hooks up, it's better than, I would say, 75% of the taco shops out here, and so
100%.
Yeah, but yeah. If she's watching, 100%, cut the other part out. No, but yeah, just a good taco. And it's got to be fresh. There's something about tacos that if you wait and you go home, the tortilla gets a little either soggy or stale, or you got to sit down and eat it right then and there.
Yep. You don't play around with no tacos, man. You cannot play around with tacos. You got to have it right then and there. Oh, we got something here. We got this here. Craft and tacos. And
oh, there you go.
All right, Denise. We got you in here. Craft and taco. Have you been there before, Gordon?
No, I've never been there. Craft and taco. That's interesting.
Never heard of that one. G, or excuse me, I was gonna call you G. Jay. We got J and G. G's not here today. Jay, what's your comfort food?
Oh man. Okay. First of all, All right. Again, this is a little bit of my LA envy. I have two lives. So one I have in the Midwest and one when I'm out on the West Coast. And I admit there's a whole nother part of me that comes alive when I'm on the West Coast. And I the best meal I ever had, well, you know, we go to all the expensive places, yada yada yada. But on a taco truck where I had these little, it was like these little plastic chairs they had me sit in with a little toy table. I'm like, are they serious? It was 4 stars, man. It was, I was like, I love it. I love it. So I miss that. Unfortunately, that's not really much of an option here in St. Louis. So we do have a couple places that, you know, they can hold their own. But for the most part, I'm really doing back on low carb right now. So my
Hey, we ain't talking about no low carb. We're not talking about none of that right now. No. No low carb. No.
I'm just saying, if I had to cheat, it's a bowl of cereal, some Cracker Jack. I mean, it's what's that, Apple Jacks, what have you?
Really?
Oh my gosh, it's a drug in a bowl.
Really? So now, like, so if you have a bad day, you have that, and that makes it for you.
But it does it. It does it.
Wow.
Right. I'm honestly, I do that, and I just like, you know, screw the world. I'll save it tomorrow.
he's like World 1 J0, but I got my goal
exactly. You know.
You know what? It's weird. It's funny because and I'm really trying to get away from it right now. You know what my thing is? Tacos, definitely. The other day I had it was today's Friday. Taco Tuesday, I actually managed to get out and get me some tacos, and that just set me on fire. I hadn't had tacos in a while, but the other day we had my grandchildren are visiting from Korea, and we barbecued and we had a pool party, and I did some hot dogs. Dude, you take me some hot dogs and I take them and put them in the bun in the microwave for about maybe 20 seconds so that they just get soft enough. Layer that ketchup inside of it, and then put my hot dog there, and then put some mustard on top of that. Man, put those there, perfect. Just the perfect amount of bite. Oh, love me some good hot dogs. But you know, in this era of YouTube, and I watch these videos of how they make hot dogs, and you talk about getting grossed out and feeling sick from seeing what they really make hot dogs and what they look like. And I'm phasing that. I'm phasing away from hot dogs. I'm not feeling them no more. But that is outside of tacos. That's another good one to me.
That
needs to drop some more info here about this.
Have you ever had a Chicago dog? A Chicago hot dog?
No. What's on that?
Oh man, it is a treat. It's going to be the best hot dog you ever have. I mean, they do everything from the. I don't want to get this wrong. I know the Chicago people are going to just like, nope, that's not it. But, you know, they have the little bit of pickle, the sauce, what have you, but they put the celery salt on there. Oh, man. And if you get the, what is that? Salivating just thinking about it. But you have the bread with the, like, I forget what it is exactly. It's almost like a sesame seed or what have you. But, oh, it is amazing. Amazing.
Denise is going on right here. She keeps bringing up taco is the holy grail, she says.
She needs to join us talking about these tacos. That sounds amazing.
Yes,
I want to hear a taco testimony.
So now, Gordon, for you, does the tacos, they fix your attitude? Like, for instance,
you know what?
Does your wife, when she knows maybe she knows you come home having a bad day, does she do that on purpose? And does that really fix your attitude? And that's what I'm talking about. A comfort food that fixes your attitude. Does that fix your attitude?
Yeah, a really good taco will do it, And I don't know that my wife will say try to, make up for whatever the day might have, but there are days where like I might have been mentioning it a few days prior or whatever, and I'll come home and she's got the fresh tortillas and she's got, she'll be making birria at home, or she'll make adobada, or something little bit better than just the normal, say, carne asada or whatever it might be, kind of chicken tacos, something a step above or whatever. And like I said, it's better than anywhere else that you can get it, out, trying to go out to eat or whatever when you're at home, because it's like you get it, the tortilla's a little crunchy on the outside while it's soft and in the middle, and it's like,
oh, you're killing me, brother.
Yeah, hey, your wife is from the soil, man. She's from the soil, so that's the heart of it, man.
She's not Mexican, grew up in the U.S. She's Mexican, grew up in Mexico, Mexican.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had birrias? Am I saying it right? Birria? How do you say it?
Birria. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm new to that one. I tried those a few weeks ago. They were pretty good. They were pretty good.
Bro, man, you got to have the quesadilla. That's what you need. Quesadilla is the one. The cheese, when they have that crunch and it's like pizza, like a thin, that shell is with cheese all in it, man. Oh, man,
I am freaking starving. I'm gonna cut this show short.
That's it.
Okay, so listen. Here's the next question here. I'm gonna start with you on this one, Gordon. What's something you're surprisingly good at that people might not expect?
Surprisingly good at? Oh man,
what's something that's surprisingly good at that people might not expect?
Maybe mediating. If tensions get high and people are beefing, and I think I can bring it down and kind of create a scenario where everybody's a little cooler, a little calmer. I think I can try to see both sides, and I don't know, that's the first thing that came to my mind when
I concur with that, Gordon. I cannot tell you how many times we've been in meetings and I'm like seething on the inside, and then Gordon does this little thing where he goes, well, what I think is what we should do is, I like what you said, Sam, but blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, all right, he said it. Yeah, that's perfect.
I was like, I wanted to be mad, but
I wanted to pull out a dagger, and Gordon just turned the tide of war. So I will definitely give you that for sure. That's definitely something.
I appreciate it.
Jay, how about you?
You know what? Shooting pool, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's I started in college. So, I'm pretty known as pretty laid back, kind of quiet, for the most part, outside of doing my public work. So people are really surprised when I start playing pool, because they're like, wait a minute, he actually does fun stuff. So that's my thing. What about you, sir? What about you?
Well, before you talk about that, I have to ask about you. If you wear lederhosen, you have to be able to dance. So is that something else that you might? How about that, Jay? Can you dance? Because I've never known too many brothers, especially from St. Louis, that wear lederhosen. So is that maybe folk dance? Might that be something that you might be good at, surprisingly, that we might not expect?
Well, you know what? I am proud of my German folk club days. Okay. My nickname was German Chocolate.
Oh my gosh.
I knew that, we used to go, I took German in high school for 3 years, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it, shout out Frau Becker, like Herr Gansner, he passed on, but excellent German teachers, Deutsch teachers. And the crazy thing about it was, when we would go to the senior citizen homes, we would do our, our German folk dancing. It'd always be the old guy in the corner, like, something's not right. Something's a little off. Like so. But yeah, it was a great experience. Thank you very much, sir.
Go ahead, Jay. I appreciate that. Thank you. I had to break that out there. I'm sorry. I just had to do that.
No, did you?
Hey, we're trying to break out a whole other side here. So answering your question, something that you know what? I'll say this as of recently. I've had some people who have approached me about this podcast. Surprisingly, they say, "Hey, I watch your podcast, man, and man, you're pretty good, man." And that I'm impressed with that. That has made me feel good, because I watch my wife get on a microphone and I watch her. And as I mentioned, we haven't had Elaine Swan come up here yet, but I have watched them as a camera operator, watching and filming television shows, and just on the backside, being on the opposite side of the camera, and now being on the front and guiding a production. I like what is happening here. I enjoy it, but I've seen my wife and I've seen Elaine Swan do some amazing work, and that's just a bar that I try to bring myself up to get to. I'll say that I am surprisingly good at it. I feel good at it. I'm getting better at it, particularly after we have looked back, and as I was going through, it looked like we had almost 50 podcasts that we've recorded, and we just started going live recently, so I'm pretty proud about that. That's good, and we're still evolving, because as you remember, Gordon, when we first started out, it was just conversations. We were just talking, 35, 45-minute conversations or hour long, just talking, and it was really just roundtable conversations. And now we got a little theme music going, and we're kind of breaking things off. So we're changing, we're moving. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Next question here. This one here, we're gonna start with you on this one, Jay. What experience helped shape the man you are today?
I love reading. I love reading. I consumed everything I could, especially with Greek mythology. I fell in love with the whole superhero dynamic, and I guess it's been embedded in me to try to embrace my better self, and try to make a difference and help, and sometimes, especially no matter what stage of life, I can appreciate that when it comes down to it, doing what's right is not always the popular thing to do, so you have to, sometimes you have to grin and bear it and just do the right thing and make things happen, Right.
Okay. All right. I do want to say one thing. We talked about this one time before, Jay. There was a guy when you got a job that told you to read something like a Wall Street Journal magazine or something like that you mentioned. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
What was that? Because when you said at that time, I forgot what his name was. Can you just say the guy's name? Do you remember?
Harold McCarthy. Shout out Harold
McCarthy.
Yes, amazing man.
What's that?
Amazing man.
How old were you when you worked with him?
I might have been 19 or so. So I used to work at Sam's. I worked in the tire department, just to show people the tires, what have you. It's a very slow department relatively compared to the rest of the store. But he made sure he placed me back there, and he gave me a Wall Street Journal. He told me that at the end of our shift, or like my shift, I should be able to have a conversation with him about what's going on in the world, for stocks and what have you were concerned. So that was my job for a while, just reading the stocks, and reading what's going on in business and so on and so forth. And he took me out, taught me how to network, amazing man. I'm very thankful for him. To this day, I love connecting people and seeing things happen.
Is he still with us?
He is. Yes. So maybe I'll send him a link to this. So I definitely will. So, especially if legal says anything from me mentioning his name.
All right, G. Gordon, talk to us.
Oh man, what I was thinking was growing up with my skin tone in a brown family was, I think, that was just a big challenge, like a big identity crisis, like going from, when you're a kid, you don't really know, right? You're young, you don't really know. And I grew up in a couple of different neighborhoods that were very brown, and you don't know until maybe middle school, and then things start to change, and certain comments, and you're looked at differently and whatnot. And still to this day, in different circles, I'm looked at differently. But it's something that well into my adult years, I didn't get over it. I didn't get over it until I would say probably within the last 5-10 years. I didn't get over it to where now I'm good. Like, it doesn't bother me, but it bothered me for a long time, just being kind of like the odd man out, just
Mm.
being that, because I was basically my whole life I was just in worlds that I was a huge minority. I was the minority, right? Basically my whole
Mm.
life. So it was it was really weird, but it was just, I guess, just understanding human nature helped me get past it, and not
Mm.
worrying so much about what people think, and understanding that people are going to think things, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's more the world just being the all the flaws of the world when it comes to skin tone and colorism and all of that stuff. So
Mm. Gordon, I say this every time, and I mean this in the what is it called, the Boondocks cartoon. I always say,
oh yeah,
um,
insane.
this is what he says, because I love you for what you just said, and I say the Boondocks, refer to Boondocks because I say no homo. That's what I always say. But I love you for what it is that you said, because I was gonna go something totally different, and then I thought about that and I said, you know what? When I was young, and like I mentioned to you, growing up in Japan, I hit a growth spurt this one summer. And man, I don't know how many inches I grew. Clothes didn't fit me. People were thinking that I was older than what I was. They thought I was a Marine. I'm walking, around off base. They thought I was a Marine because I was so tall. They thought I was a Marine. I was gangly. I wasn't coordinated, and I always felt embarrassed. And it gave me a mentality of I can't even tell you how much that helped. I'm not gonna say it helped mature me, but it made me look at people differently because of how they treated me. First and foremost, you're giving me special treatment because I'm taller than everybody else. And then sometimes when I was taller than everybody else, they would call me first over certain things, and it was all these weird thoughts that were running through us. Now, all three of us here now, Jerome, I think you got to be taller than me, right? You're about 6'3", right? 6'4"?
Yes, sir. 6'3".
Okay, so then Gordon, you're tall, so you're the tallest out of all of us, and that was an embarrassing thing for me, just being tall, and especially when I just came back from Japan and hanging out in high school with guys that I used to know, because I was living here in Japan and here in Oceanside up till the 7th grade, left and came back in my junior year, or excuse me, sophomore year, and came back. So everybody that I knew before, I was taller than them, and when I came back, I was taller than them. They were driving and had girlfriends. I was embarrassed. I didn't even know how to talk to people. It was something. So with you saying that, I thought about how embarrassing it was just as a child growing up. That's what helped shape a lot of things that I do and how I act today, to this very day. I always remember how it is when I see a kid growing up or I see a kid off to the side. It always makes me wonder, man, what's going on? Let me go talk to this guy, because I remember how I felt. So thank you
Yeah.
for bringing that up to me, man. And that was that was a big one for me. Huge one.
Yeah.
Huge one. Next question. Um hold up. Here we go. What do you think people misunderstand about men trying to grow? I will say this, and I'll answer this one to start off here. What do you think people misunderstand about men trying to grow? So this is a big one for me, because and I bring it up all the time about working in a prison system. When you work in a prison, you have to work with men and women, and they come in all types of mentalities, positive, negative, and for the most part, a lot of it is negative. And for when you're let me just make sure I get the right one. Um, when you work with people, and in particular with men, and you're trying to grow and you're trying to assist people, sometimes people don't take it as easy from a man than they do a woman. Some guys will say, I want to talk to a woman. I don't want to talk to no man. I want to talk to a woman. I want to talk to, I don't get me a doctor. I want to, when they say a doctor, they really mean a female sometimes. They because there's a level of empathy that they associate that women have that men don't. And I'm here to say that men can be just as empathetic and compassionate as women can. It's just that however experiences made you that way. So what I think people misunderstand about men trying to grow is that men have feelings too. It sounds funny to say it like that, but sometimes it's difficult for men to for people to receive that men are sensitive, are emotional, or have emotions. I didn't realize until after working in law enforcement and being in the military about emotions so much, about because a lot of those were all about shutting out emotions and not showing it, and just I had a uniform that spoke for me. My uniform is what did all my talking. When you saw me, look at my badge. You know, I don't got to say nothing. Look at the handcuffs. I don't got to say nothing to you. I'm tapping my gun on my hip. I don't got to say nothing to you. You know who I am. But then it becomes opposite side. Now I got a gun on my hip and I'm trying to help you. You don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear, man. Look, you just had a man. No, you got a gun. You're authority. I don't want nothing to do with you. So that's what I think people misunderstand about men trying to grow. Jump in next. Who wants to got that?
You know what? I'll just tag along on that to add this part. A man connecting to his emotions is not a sign of weakness. Okay, I think that's often misinterpreted. You know, because there's emotional maturity. Okay, you know, I grew up a kid in a single parent household. You know, so you know you're the man of the house so young, so you know childhood gets cut a little short. Okay, it's because you're trying to help take care of things in the home. So for all intents and purposes, that I found that uh, trying to get rid of the persona of nothing bothers me.
Yeah.
You know, I just the machine aspect of things just keep moving. It's not healthy in the long run. So because you have people that put extra weight on you just because they think you can handle it or that it doesn't bother you, and you'll be taking on other people's responsibilities and other people's issues and what have you when you don't need to. Okay, so it for me to embrace myself, as a grown man, and saying, you know what, it's okay that I get down sometimes. It's okay that I'm not always 100% happy, joy.
Mhm.
I'm allowed to have those feelings. I am a human being. Okay. And to know that if you're with somebody that can't appreciate that, that's not the right person to be around. Okay. It's just, that's simple. Because I've seen it. I've had those conversations with guys where they say, you know what? Don't show a woman your sensitivity or issues or whatever things that bother you. They'll turn on you. And there are some women that will do that. There are some women that's not the ones you need to be with. That's not the ones you need to be with. Especially if you consider yourself an evolved human being. All right.
Gordon.
Yeah, I like how the last thing Jay said. I mean, all of it was great. The last thing evolved human being. Because I think that for the last 10, 20,000 years, we've been telling each other that this is what men are supposed to be like, and this is what women are supposed to act like, and that you got to stay in your lane. And growing up as a kid, you couldn't play with dolls, and girls are not supposed to play with cars, Hot Wheels, and what do they do? The gender reveal parties, it's always pink and blue, and so we've been telling ourselves these things that we're not. If we're a guy, we're not supposed to do all of this other stuff. And if we're girls, we're not supposed to be like this, and we're not supposed to be like that. And I think that if we're gonna evolve, the definition of words change. Like you guys mentioned strength, and you guys mentioned not showing emotion, being a sign of strength, at least of what we've been telling ourselves for thousands of years or whatever, right? When in actuality it's flipping, and we're starting to realize that a man that is strong, or a woman in that case, but a man that is strong can show that emotion, and that's actually a sign of strength versus a sign of weakness. It's actually, because most of the time, if we're avoiding emotions, it's probably because we're too weak to handle them, if that makes sense. And so a truly evolved, which we've got a long way to go, is somebody that can handle that and is able to show it, express it, and and it's a good thing to be able to show that to other younger men per se, you know, and anybody, honestly. That's my old mind thinking, where I'm only focused on the kids. But it's good for young men and women to see somebody that they consider a strong man showing emotions. I can remember the first time I saw my dad cry, it was when my sister got married. And that to me
Mm.
was like, wow, like this is my dad. This is, you know, and there was no shame, no embarrassment, no nothing, you know. Nobody, he's, you know, he's almost as tall as me anyway, but nobody looked at him funny or anything like that, right?
Right.
And it wasn't so much that it was shocking to me that a man would cry. It's just that my dad, of all the people in the
Right.
world, that would, right? And so those
Mhm.
are those things we got to quit telling ourselves these stories, and quit following this narrative, and just be who we are, you know.
Yes,
And I
yes,
think
Mm.
yes.
that evolution we need to go through.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a self-made prison when you subscribe to those
Yep.
that ideology. It's a self-made prison. You're not allowed to grow. You're not allowed to really express yourself. You're not allowed to connect to anything that really counts. You know, you're you turn yourself into a machine.
Mm. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Next question. Next question up. Boom. I'm going to start with this one here. What music instantly changes your mood? So I've been evolving lately. I'm doing a lot of things around the house. And when I'm moving and doing things around the house, it used to be a lot of, you know, hip hop and R&B, but lately I have been getting into a lot of lo-fi music. And I've been getting into just, I don't know if you ever listen to lo-fi music. I don't know if you all know what lo-fi is. It's kind of like this, got a nice little hip hop beat to it. And then it's got nice, there's no verbal, there's no what do you call it? There's no words. It's just nice little beats and just nice little I don't know, just a flow to it. And I've been enjoying lo-fi. You know anything about lo-fi, Jay?
I'm not really familiar that I know of, so I'm taking in what you're saying there. So I have to check it out.
Have you ever watched the anime called Samurai Champloo?
I have some
Samurai
good.
Champloo has a soundtrack by a Japanese artist named Nujabes. He passed away in a car accident a few years ago. And
Oh,
this soundtrack on that album is just amazing. If I hear that any music from that soundtrack from that anime, man, it's like I want to start getting to work. I want to start doing things. It's something to chill with. You'll have to check out some lo-fi music, man. It's that's something that gets me going.
you
It
know, I'll put
instantly
that on
changes.
my to-do list. I'll put that on my to-do list. I personally, for myself, I love listening to like some Brazilian jazz. You know, girl
Ah,
from Ipanema. I mean, especially I get into this phase in the evening where I like to do more of my cleaning up in the evening. So,
mm,
you know, I'll go around, make sure everything's neat, mopped, all that, you know, take care of the chores. But I'll have that music playing, and heaven help me if I have some candles going. You know, I'll walk in. I'm like, oh my god, a grown up lives here. You know, like,
hey, Jay, this is nice. This is nice.
oh man, I got the waterfall when you walk in. I got the fountain. Oh yeah, you know, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. Okay.
What about you, Gordon? What music instantly changes your mood?
I don't know if I would say it's a genre necessarily, but something that I've been listening to more so lately is I have a record player that one of my boys bought me for Father's Day, I think, or something like that. And this he bought this for me maybe 5 years ago, and since then every year he buys me a new record for Father's Day. And now one of his brothers also signed up for that. Now this last Father's Day, I got two records, and one of them was actually a double. It was a greatest hits, Sade. And so
Nice.
yesterday I was making dinner, and so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna listen to some music while make dinner. And so I pulled up the new record. I had to unwrap it because it was still in this wrapper and everything, and I put on some Sade, and that just there's something different about a record player versus say digital music or whatever the case. And so I was listening to that, and then reality hits and it stops, and I gotta stop what I'm doing, turn off the stove, and run and flip the record and go, and then I'm good for a little bit again. But no, just putting on a record just feels good every once in a while, and it creates this environment where it's like, oh dang, it's just some music. Forget the TV, forget the internet for a little bit. Just some record playing music.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome.
All right. Next question here. Boom. What's something you're still becoming? Jump in, anyone.
I'll say a grown up. I'm like, great. I'm like, I remember, I think I was in my early 20s, and this was when I was teaching, and I was talking to one of the teachers on the staff, and I think he was every bit of 50 or so. And I just asked him, I'm like, how old do you feel, like mentally? How old do you? And he said, accomplished person, everybody's got their education, degrees, yada, yada. And he said, you know what, man, I think I've been stuck at 15 for about 35 years. And I said, I get it. I get it. It's a part of you where, there's still that boy energy in you. You like that, you like to have a little adventure here and there, a little fun, play with toys, the toys get a little bigger and cooler, that kind of deal. But, it's, I spending so much time on the road and, balancing careers. I've really embraced where I can do laundry. I call it when I'm really ace adulting, when I'm actually doing my laundry and folding it and putting it away all at the same. I give myself a gold star.
I hear that.
So it's those little things like that. I just, I work on that, and I still have the tux. I still have the tux on standby, and able to do my grown-up thing and all that. But it's just like, I create toys and what have you. There's a part of the kid in me. I don't want to let go, but I know when to just shift gears. So we're good.
Yeah, but matter of fact, we have to bring up the fact that I don't know if you know this, Gordon, that Jerome has I don't know if your patent is out for your.
Yeah, I still have my patent.
You got your patent for your water gun, or what do you call it?
Yeah. Self-sealing balloons. So it's
self-sealing balloons, water balloons. Wow. Yeah, he's went to China and got it all done and worked out and everything else. And I don't even want to talk and try to steal your thunder, but some folks just don't like talking about the amazing things that they do, and they forget all about it until someone reminds them. This man has went to all the toy. Matter of fact, didn't we go to one of those toy things in LA?
Oh yeah, I took you to the DC project that we had in what's that, Anaheim? Remember we were at the DC project. Yeah, I was meeting with some executives there. So that was really cool. And so I had some. You get into those little conversations with people. And I go, there's this warehouse not too far away from where I live where they do these Amazon returns, what have you. And I'm a bargain nut, so I like to go and check it out. I'm a Goodwill guy, no matter what. I love to, find cool stuff or what have you. So I'm at the Amazon place, and it's literally on the street. They got the trucks there and all that kind of stuff. You just meet really cool people, So one of the guys that run the place, he was, he's just like, hey, how you doing, Jay? I'm like, everything's fine. Yeah, I'm looking for, I think more personally, I've been on this quest to find video graphics cards. So sometimes they have those there. So I've been on a quest to find them. So I'm over there like, hey, talking to him. And then there's voice out of nowhere go, Mr. Harris. I look over, he's like, you remember me? I had you in the 9th grade and all that kind of stuff. And the guy that I'm doing business with, he's like, "You were a teacher?" I'm like, "Yes." He's just like, people take you on a certain level, and they don't understand all the experiences that can be accomplished and what makes you. So it just blew his mind because he just knew, like, we talk about little spiritual stuff here and there, what have you, and it just never occurred to me to even say that. because it wasn't that part that was there, but it was, he just, man, I thought I knew you. So it was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Awesome. So I'm going to jump on for myself. What I'm still becoming is I am becoming a nonprofit business founder. We are going from our for-profit to converting from a for-profit to a nonprofit. And that is something that I'm looking forward to. There are a lot of things that we did as a for-profit business that was coming out of my pocket so much. And I was throwing money here and throwing money there, that as I started looking around and listening to other people's, and even being on a nonprofit, I started seeing, wait a second, I should have had a nonprofit a long time ago. I should have did this we should have been doing this a long time ago. The things that we've been doing in the community and the things that we are doing, even with this podcast here within itself, and the app that Gordon and I are working on, I should have been a nonprofit founder and business owner a long time ago. And that's something that I'm still becoming right now. Just it's a process, and it definitely doesn't happen overnight, and you definitely want to do it right without just jumping into it. Because I have set up for my Air Force reunion, I set up a nonprofit for that and some other things. It's easy to jump in there and do it, but now that it's for me and I want it done right, I am very excited about becoming a nonprofit business owner. That's something I'm becoming. Go ahead, Gordon.
Yeah. I was when you first said it, I was thinking along the same lines. Is what I'm still becoming is an entrepreneur. And that word is like a trendy, type word. I just mean like a self-sufficient person that doesn't depend on a W-2 income, because I do work a W-2 job. But I've owned multiple business. I currently own a business. I have an LLC, and I do have business going through that. But my goal is to become the type of person that just generates a lifestyle regardless of a being dependent on any kind of a W-2 job or anything like that. Just more independent, I get more self-sufficient, and I am well along in the journey. I'm much better than I was, say, 5, 10, 20 years ago. I'm much better than I was yesterday, for example. But I still have a lot of growing to do, and it's along with just understanding business and marketing and things like that. It's also the mindset. It's also emotional intelligence and things like that help you get out of your comfort zone, so you can be there, because it's definitely one of those things that your day-to-day activities are something that an average person is very uncomfortable doing, right? And so that's what I'm working on, getting more comfortable with the discomfort. So
all right. Next question. Here we go. What's a small luxury that makes your day better? What's a small luxury, Jay, that makes your day better? I won't tell you mine. As I told you, my wife and I are caregivers, and we have my in-laws. They get picked up by Pace, and it's the San Diego Pace truck that comes in. They pick them up and they take them to the facility throughout the day, and they can do it up to 5 days a week. When they come and they pick them up, and mom and dad get out the house, it's kind of like letting your kids go, and the school bus has got them, and it's like they're gone, and I got 5 hours to go free. That is one of the most liberating luxuries of the day. And I say this because this morning mom wanted to go, but dad didn't want to go. So when dad stays, now somebody's got to be here, and it's not a negative thing, but it's like, I know in the back of my mind, I gotta be here because something can happen. And you kind of like, he didn't get off today. But when they get out and they go, and I'm watching, and I see them get picked up, and I make sure they get in, and they're in the van, and the door closes, it's like, yes, thank you, God, I made it, and now I got some free time. That's a small luxury for me. That is really something that's great for me. Jay?
Well, you know what? I love when I get a chance to go to, there's a comic book shop in my neighborhood. You know, so I've been on this absolute Batman run lately. So I told them I don't care. I say I don't care if you come up with an absolute Batman toilet paper. Sign me up, okay? You know, so I'll go in and check out new issues, or I'll pick up my orders, what have you. I shout out Wizards Wagon, you know, here in St. Louis, Missouri. Amazing place, great staff, great people. You know, Fleet, Ryan, hey, you know, but it's mental health. It's fun. It's connection. That's my luxury there. My little luxury.
Gordon?
You know, the other day, so for our family, Sunday is family day, and Sunday is a day where we spend together, whether it's a big thing or a little thing. And for me, that's a big thing, regardless. Like the other day, we didn't really know what we wanted to do. We didn't have any plans. It's been a lot of like extended family stuff, birthdays and other get-togethers. So it's like we've been busy doing that stuff, and that's great. But with this one, we had free to ourselves, and we grabbed some bread and some sandwich meat, and we went to a park and just made sandwiches and sat at the park, and it was just good to sit there in a little folding chair and just relaxing, you know, putting my feet in the grass. Like, you know, I don't know how this grounding stuff works, but there's something about being able to stick your feet in the dirt or the grass or whatever barefoot. And it felt good to be able to sit there and just relax a little bit.
Do you guys go to that park by your house off a lake?
No, actually not very much. No.
Oh, really?
We usually tend to go towards the beach. And so this time we went to a park that was like right by the beach. And so you could smell the ocean, you know, the ocean air, and you get the breeze coming in. And so that's kind of where we usually magnetize towards, I guess, if that's the right way to say it. I don't know. But yeah, we were at a park by the beach this time.
There's a park right by your house that I go to when we just want to clear up, and I just take out my drones, and Kelly and I pull out the chairs, and I just fly the drones while we're just having our conversation. And I love it. Right near that volcano area, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. We walk up there. We go hiking. The park is Oak Riparian Park or Oak Riparian Park, something like that. And then the volcano.
You got volcanoes out there?
It's a small hill. It's like this hiking trail. You can hike up to it. It takes maybe 15 minutes to get to the top. It's nothing crazy, but who knows how many tens of thousands of years ago it blew. It was a volcano. You can see where side of the mountain is like, or it's not a mountain. The side of the hill is like has crumbled, and it's like a steep face because of it falling over or whatever. So it's technically, I'm assuming it's a volcano, and it's like walking distance, 10-15 minutes from my house.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have you been up top of that yet?
Oh yeah, I used to go up there weekly, just walking up to the top as part of my little exercise routine. So yeah,
that's what's up.
And there's multiple trails. Like there's so many trails up there. You could go this way, you go that way, you go that way, and you could go for a week or two and not hit the same trail if you really wanted to.
Okay. Well, this is gonna be the last question we have here, because an hour has came and went, and we are here. So I'm gonna try to find one of my good questions that I have to close us out. Here we go. What kind of legacy are you trying to leave, even in small ways? Now this is you got to think about this one, because some people don't even think about legacy. They don't even think about what you're doing. Each of you in both of you in your own ways. Jay, you with your business, if you were to be gone, what's going to happen? You know, same thing I asked you, Gordon. Same thing. If you were to be gone, who's going to carry the mantle? You know, you several times brought up your father's name, and obviously he's left an indelible imprint on your life. So that's when you talk about legacy. What kind of legacy are you trying to leave, even in a small way? And you know, I'm going to start with myself before we close this out. For myself, I think we said a lot of those things that we talked about, that men growing up and being able to express themselves and being able to communicate and feel emotions and things like that. In particular, with what we're doing with this podcast, trying to let people know and see that men, this is not just a man's podcast. We do have females involved. Some of them just can't make it at times, and some of them out of country. But the legacy that I would like to leave is that men have emotions, men speak, men can have dialogue on things that others don't think you can have conversations about. Men and women should be able to have conversations about things that are hurting them, that are bothering them, and you shouldn't feel shame to talk about them or even be able to reach out. And I say this as a former federal corrections officer who had to deal with that and had to look for those signals and those signs. Even though a person's pissed off and angry, you still got to be able to read in between the lines. This guy's hurting. He's not mad, he's hurting. And it's not the fact that he's just pissed off, he wants to get at me. No, the guy's hurting. He's locked up. He's been taken away from his family. He's going through some things. Maybe the court case didn't come out right for him this day, whatever. And everybody needs at least a mulligan from somebody in authority, an authoritative figure to say, okay, hey, it's okay what you're going through, man. It's okay. I'm here, and I go through the same things that you're going through. That's the kind of legacy that I would like to leave on my side, for my children and for other men to have these kind of conversations. I'm believing that pretty soon we're going to be getting a lot more people in here coming in conversations, and it's not just going to be us three. It's going to be a lot of us, and the round robin is going to go, and it's going to go even faster as well too. So that's the kind of legacy that I'm trying to leave. And it's not a small way. This is my contribution to the world, I'd say. And yes, it's a small thing to do. So that's my thing. Next up.
That's beautiful. I believe my legacy, honestly, is just trying to do right by good people. Just try to help people where you can. You know, you'd be surprised, like a little effort or something that may not mean much to you could mean the world to somebody else. Okay. So that's that's part of what I would like to leave to the world.
All right. Gordon, go ahead and close us out, Gordon.
Oh boy, no. One of the things that what came to my mind is one of the things that I tell my boys is, what would you do every day if you didn't need to make money? Like if you didn't need to, because most people spend at least 8 hours a day earning a living just so that they can pay bills and take care of family, earning a living. But I tell the boys, what would you do every single day if, like, let's say you had, a trust that paid you 50, 75 grand a year, and you're not wealthy, but you don't have to work either. What would you spend your days doing? And I think that it's such a hard thing because we're so, I don't know if programmed or wired to believe that, our day is supposed to be split up into 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work, and then everything else. And sometimes it's more than 8 hours of work, right? Just to be able to make it. If we could really spend our days doing stuff that we really wanted to do, I think the world would be a different place, because, like, for example, as I said earlier, I still work a job, but I get off early in the morning, and then usually most of my day I go to the community center with Oscarin and help with whatever he's got going on at the community center, or I'm involved with another group called SOS with the city politics and all of that, the Parks and Rec Commission. I'm not trying to brag, like I'm not trying to say this is what I do, but some people want to go paint. They want to sit on a mountain and paint the landscape. Some people want to go, surfing or skateboarding or whatever. Some people are all about baseball or football or music, musicians experimenting with different music, whatever it is, right? And I think, but part of it needs to incorporate helping somebody else in the process. And I think that would change a lot of stuff. And obviously I understand we got to earn a living, right? But if we can, the way that things are going these days with technology, you can earn a living doing what you truly love to do. It just, it's harder, it takes more time, more consistency, more, you just have to be, what's the word? You have to be steadfast. You got to never give up. Just keep pushing. And you see people online all the time earning a living, talking about this subject that they love or doing this thing that they love to do or whatever the case. And so what would we do every day that we truly enjoy that helps somebody else if we didn't have to earn a living? You know, I don't know.
Outstanding. Outstanding. With that being said, let's go ahead and close this one out here, because bottom line, at the end of the day, I'm sorry here. At the end of the day, community is not only only built through serious conversations. Sometimes it is built through laughter, honesty, memory, and simply letting people see who we are when we are not carrying the weight of the world. Today, we got to relax, reconnect, and remember that behind every opinion, every story, and every serious discussion, there is a human being. So let this be a reminder. Don't just get to know what people think. Take time to get to know who they are. Until next time, keep uplifting yourselves, keep uplifting each other, and keep uplifting our community.